There's a kind of loneliness that only parents of autistic or disabled children understand. You love your child fiercely. You'd do anything for them. But you also feel invisible, misunderstood, cut off from the rest of the world. You're surrounded by people, but you've never felt more alone. Your friends don't get it. Your family doesn't understand. Other parents complain about soccer schedules while you're managing meltdowns, therapy appointments, and IEP meetings. And no one, absolutely no one, seems to see how hard this actually is. If that's you, this video is for you. Because the loneliness of raising an autistic child is real. It's researched, it's documented, and it's not your fault. Let me explain what's happening, why you feel this way, and what you can actually do about it, even if you have zero local support. The loneliness that research confirms. Here's what studies show. Parents of children with autism and disabilities report significantly higher levels of loneliness than parents of typically developing children. Not just a little more lonely, a lot more. They also experience higher rates of depression and anxiety, chronic stress and burnout, something called chronic sorrow, waves of grief that come and go for years, social isolation that gets worse over time. This isn't in your head. This is documented reality. Therapists who work with special needs families say the same thing over and over. Parents of disabled children are among the loneliest caregivers in existence. And it's not because you're doing something wrong. It's because this type of parenting is inherently isolating. Why raising an autistic child is so isolating. Let me break down exactly why this loneliness happens. Reason 1, you've lost your social network. Before your child's diagnosis, you probably had friends, a social life, normal parent connections. But over time, those relationships faded. Why? Because constant caregiving leaves no time for friendships. You can't just meet for coffee when you need a babysitter trained in your child's specific needs. You can't attend birthday parties when your child has sensory sensitivities and might melt down. You can't join book clubs or girls' nights when you're managing therapy schedules, doctor's appointments, and behaviors that don't pause for socializing. Your life became 100% caregiving, and friendships require time you don't have. Reason 2, people don't understand. Even when you try to explain what your life is like, people don't get it. They say things like, all kids have tantrums. He'll grow out of it. Have you tried being stricter? You're too stressed. Just relax. My cousin's friend's kid was the same way and he's fine now. They minimize your reality because they've never lived it. And after hearing that enough times, you stop talking about it. You stop trying to explain. You isolate because it's easier than being invalidated over and over again. Reason 3. You avoid situations where you'll be judged. Your child's behaviors are unpredictable. Meltdowns in public, stimming that draws stares, eloping, aggression, sounds that disrupt quiet spaces. So you stop going places. You avoid restaurants, too loud, too overstimulating, too many judging eyes. Play dates. Other kids don't understand, other parents judge. Church or community events. People stare, whisper, offer unwanted advice. Family gatherings. Relatives say hurtful things or expect you to control your child. You isolate to protect yourself and your child from judgment. But the cost is you're now completely alone. Reason 4. Nobody sees the invisible work you're doing. People see a parent with a child. They don't see the 15 therapy appointments per month you coordinate, the IEP meetings you attend alone, fighting for services, The sleepless nights because your child doesn't sleep. The constant vigilance to prevent meltdowns, elopement, or harm. The emotional labor of managing everyone else's opinions about your child. The grief you carry every single day. Your work is invisible, so you feel invisible. Reason 5. Normal parent groups don't fit, and special needs groups are hard to access. You don't fit in typical parenting spaces. Other parents complain about potty training taking too long. Your child is 8 and still in diapers. Other parents stress about grades. You're celebrating that your child made eye contact once today. Their problems feel trivial compared to yours. You can't relate. But special needs parent groups? Maybe there aren't any locally. Maybe you don't have time to attend. Maybe you tried one and it was full of people further along in acceptance and you felt even more behind. So you exist in a lonely middle space, too different for regular parents, too isolated for special needs community. The result? You're completely, utterly alone. And here's the worst part. You feel guilty for feeling lonely because you love your child. And if you love them, you shouldn't feel lonely, right? Wrong. You can love your child deeply and feel isolated, exhausted, and unseen. Both are true, and both are valid. What therapists call this chronic sorrow. There's a term for what you're experiencing. It's called chronic sorrow. It's not the same as depression, though you might have that too. Chronic sorrow is recurring waves of grief that come and go over years. Sadness triggered by milestones your child won't reach. Grief for the life you thought you'd have. Mourning the normal parenting experience you'll never get. It shows up at birthday parties when you see typical kids doing things your child can't. During school events when your child is excluded. When other parents casually mention college plans and you don't know if your child will ever be independent. When you see a new diagnosis added to the list. Chronic sorrow isn't a sign you don't love your child. It's a sign you're grieving multiple losses while simultaneously caregiving with no break. And research shows chronic sorrow is completely normal for parents of disabled children. Therapists say the problem isn't that you're feeling it. The problem is that you're feeling it alone and thinking it means something is wrong with you. Nothing is wrong with you. Why you need support and why it's okay to need it. Here's what research shows very clearly. Parents of autistic children who have strong social support experience lower levels of depression and anxiety, less burnout, better physical health, better ability to cope with caregiving stress, even better outcomes for their children. Parents without support experience the opposite. Support isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. And if you don't have it locally, you need to find it somewhere else. Because doing this completely alone will break you. What to do when you have no local support? I know what you're thinking. Great, I need support, but I don't have any. So what now? Here's what you can actually do starting today, even if you're completely isolated where you live. Step 1. Find your people online. If you can't find support locally, go online. There are thousands of parents in your exact situation, raising autistic kids, feeling isolated, desperate for connection with people who get it. Where to find them? Facebook groups. Search Autism Parents Support Group. Look for groups specific to your child's diagnosis or age. Join groups for single parents of autistic kids if that's your situation. Reddit, r/autism_parenting, r/special needs children. Diagnosis-specific subreddits. Online forums. Wrong Planet Autism forums. The Mighty Community. What to do. Join 2 to 3 groups. Just lurk at first if you're not ready to post. Read other parents' stories. You'll see yourself in them. When you're ready, share your own story. Ask questions. Vent. Celebrate wins. These people will become your lifeline. Research shows that online support groups reduce loneliness and improve mental health for isolated caregivers. You don't need to meet them in person for it to help. Just knowing someone else gets it makes a massive difference. Step 2. Get therapy, even if it's virtual. You need a therapist, not for your child, for you. Why therapy matters. It's a safe space to say the things you can't say anywhere else. A good therapist validates your reality instead of minimizing it. Therapy teaches coping skills for burnout, grief, and chronic stress. It helps you process the anger, guilt, and sadness you're carrying. But I don't have time for therapy. Online therapy exists. Telehealth counseling means no driving to appointments, sessions from your couch after your child is asleep, flexible scheduling. Platforms to try: BetterHelp, Talkspace, your insurance's telehealth options, sliding scale therapists on Psychology Today. Look specifically for therapists who specialize in caregiver burnout, parents of children with disabilities, chronic grief and loss, special needs parenting. Even one session per month can help. Studies show that therapy significantly reduces depression and improves coping for parents of autistic children. You're not weak for needing it. You're smart for getting it. Step 3. Name what you're feeling without shame. Stop pretending you're fine. Stop hiding your grief because you think it means you don't love your child enough. You need to name what you're experiencing. I love my child and I'm lonely. I love my child and I'm grieving. I love my child and I'm exhausted. I love my child and I feel invisible. All of these can be true at the same time. Research shows that validating your own grief and loneliness is the first step to coping with it. When you name it, you stop carrying it in secret. When you name it, you can address it. Tell one person, a friend, a family member, an online group, a therapist. Say out loud, "This is really hard. I feel alone. I need support." Just saying it reduces the weight. Step 4. Protect tiny pockets of time for yourself. I know you don't have hours for self-care, but you might have 10 minutes. Research shows that even brief daily self-care reduces caregiver burnout. What does this look like? 10 minutes of something that is just for you. Sit in your car in silence before going inside. Drink coffee while it's still hot. Watch one episode of a show you like. Read a few pages of a book. Take a walk around the block. Journal for 5 minutes. Listen to a song you love. It's not a bubble bath. It's not a spa day. It's 10 minutes where you remember you're a person, not just a caregiver. Do this daily, even if it feels pointless. It's not. Maintaining even a tiny sense of self outside caregiving protects your mental health. Step 5. Ask for specific help, not vague help. Most people want to help, but don't know how. So they say, "Let me know if you need anything." And then they never hear from you. Here's why. Vague offers feel empty when you're overwhelmed. You don't have the energy to figure out what to ask for, so nothing happens, and you stay isolated. Here's what works better. Ask for specific, concrete help. Instead of, I need help, try, can you watch my child for 30 minutes on Tuesday so I can grocery shop alone? Can you drop off a meal on Thursday? Can you text me once a week just to check in? Can you sit with my child so I can take a shower? People are more likely to say yes to clear, specific requests. And even one person helping with one small thing reduces your isolation. Step 6. Screen yourself for depression and get treatment if needed. Loneliness and depression feed each other. The more depressed you are, the harder it is to reach out. The more isolated you are, the more depressed you become. It's a vicious cycle. Signs you might be depressed. Feeling hopeless most days. No interest in things you used to enjoy. Sleeping too much or too little. Difficulty concentrating. Thoughts of harming yourself or wishing you weren't here. If this is you, please get help. Depression is treatable. Medication, therapy, or both can help. You don't have to feel this way forever. Call your doctor. Use a telehealth service. Reach out to a crisis line if needed. National Crisis Line, 988. Crisis Text Line. Text HOME to 741-741. You are not alone, and you deserve help. What won't help, so stop expecting it to. Let me be honest about what research shows does not reduce loneliness for special needs parents. 1. Waiting for local community to get it. They won't. Not because they're bad people, because they don't have your lived experience. Stop waiting for your current social circle to magically understand. Find new people who already do. 2. Trying to make your child fit in so you can access normal parent spaces. This will exhaust you and harm your child. You don't need to change your child. You need to find spaces where you both belong as you are. 3. Pretending you're fine. Hiding your struggle makes loneliness worse. The more you pretend, the more isolated you feel. 4. Comparison and shame. Stop comparing yourself to parents with typical kids. Stop shaming yourself for struggling. Their life is not your life. Your hard is hard, period. The bottom line. If you're raising an autistic child and you feel lonely, invisible, and exhausted, you're not broken. You're isolated, and isolation is fixable. Not overnight, not perfectly, but it's fixable. Here's what you do. Find your people online. Join 2 to 3 support groups this week. Get therapy, even virtual, even once a month. Name your grief. Tell one person how you really feel. Protect 10 minutes daily for yourself. Something small, just for you. Ask for specific help. Make one clear request to one person. Screen for depression and get treatment if needed. You don't have to do all of these perfectly. Just pick one. Start there. You are not alone. Thousands of parents are reading this right now, feeling exactly what you feel. Lonely, invisible, exhausted, grieving. You're not crazy. You're not ungrateful. You're not failing. You're a parent doing one of the hardest jobs in the world with inadequate support. And you deserve better. You deserve to be seen. You deserve connection. You deserve support. And it's out there, even if it's not in your zip code. Find your people, get your therapy, name your grief. You don't have to carry this alone anymore. If this resonated with you, you're not alone. Drop a comment and let's build community right here. What's one thing you wish people understood about raising an autistic child?
If you're feeling overwhelmed, I made something for you. Grab my free Calm in the Chaos guide, link in bio.